Are you ready to review episode 2 of Money Explained? If so, you're in the right place.
Hello, welcome to my video. Hello.
It's been a crazy, hectic week, and I just went to a baseball game last night, and so this video might be coming out a little bit late, but I'm posting every single week. I am committed. Also, baseball cap, because I didn't really have time to get ready. Anyway, let's talk about credit cards. This episode was hands down my favorite out of the entire series. This is exactly what I imagined when I saw Money Explained on my Netflix feed. The episode does such a great job at explaining things, so much so that I'm going to stick with the metaphor that's already been established. And if you didn't watch the episode or just need a quick review, here's what's up.
In episode 2 of Money Explained, we look at credit through an analogy. Imagine we're all playing a credit game, and the goal is to get the highest credit score, which helps you get rewards and perks. There are 4 types of players: the hacker, the no-card non-player, the transactor, and the revolver. The hacker has everything figured out. They are not your typical credit card user. They leverage credit card benefits for free vacations, free money, free everything. A good example given by the episode is YouTuber Brian Jung, who has 20 plus credit cards and millions of points that he uses very strategically. The no-card non-player, on the other hand, rejects all the rewards and points credit cards might provide them for a simpler life, with less hidden pitfalls. There are consequences for remaining out of the game, the primary being zero credit history, which closes many a door. Without credit history, their credit score is left wanting, making them subject to automatic loan rejections. In addition, finding long-term rentals becomes extremely difficult because landlords don't have proof that they can consistently pay off their bills. However, by using only cash or debit, the no-card non-player minimizes their financial risk. The transactor is a different kind of player. They are a very financially responsible sort that pays their credit card bill in full every month. This is the player most people aim to be. The revolver also pays their credit card bill, but not in full. Their credit bills seem to get bigger and bigger, and they often cycle through a variety of credit cards to try to stay ahead. About 40% of Americans are revolvers. Another 40% are transactors. About 20% are no card holders, and a tiny percentage are hackers.
There are winners and there are losers in the credit card game. And the most frequent winner is often the invisible fifth player, the credit card companies. Because in this game, if you're the common consumer, the credit card companies are 100% playing against you. They want you to be a revolver. Why? Well, let me explain.
This is how credit card companies play the credit game. First, they try to get each consumer to choose their card. This is where all the rewards and perks come in. You'll often see really enticing introductory offers where spending a certain amount within a certain time actually earns you money. When hackers take advantage of all the offered rewards, it costs the credit card companies more than they'd like. But there are not enough super credit card users for them to be too concerned. Mostly, credit card companies are keeping their eyes on the transactors and the revolvers. When it comes to transactors, the credit card companies rake in whatever revenue they can from the fees that businesses must pay every time the transactor swipes their card. If the transactor is really rich and buys big ticket items, this can be extremely profitable. But that's not where the real money is. You see, the cash cows and holy grail for the credit card companies are revolvers. You know how the minimum balance is always in bold, underlined, and boxed at the top of your card statement? That's because credit card companies want you to look at that amount and pay nothing more. However, when revolvers pay only the minimum balance on their credit bill, they're in for a world of hurt that's characterized by never-ending bills that keep getting bigger and bigger even when they're not spending. That's interest, and it makes credit card companies and the banks that generally own them very rich. Additionally, since credit card companies don't make any money off of the no-card non-player, they will try their best to convince them to play the game on the off chance they become a revolver and end up making them a lot of money. But hey, that's the game.
Is it just me, or is this elaborate metaphor giving you life? Okay, you might not know this about me, but I love analogies and metaphors so much. So this, what a perfect way to describe this credit system that we're all living in. I love how the episode explained each player in depth and how they went over the psychological reasons behind certain actions that lead people to fall into credit card debt. I also love learning about Brian Jung, a super credit card user who is totally crushing the credit card game. I loved all of it. I also love how the episode busted certain myths. Like, there's a rumor that being a revolver, someone who doesn't pay their credit card bill in full every month, might actually be financially beneficial. And no, just no. Like, it might seem enticing to believe, but don't. I think that maybe one time, long ago, I might have, maybe, read one article that said that being a revolver could be more beneficial than being a transactor, but just don't buy into it. It's like someone telling you that you can do cartwheels through a minefield to get to the other side faster, as long as you know where the explosives are. It's just a tremendously bad idea. Especially when you remember that the people who planted those explosives are betting that you step on them. Anyway, another thing I really loved was how they talked about different ways to stay on top of your credit card payments and possibly climb out of credit card debt through auto payments and good old-fashioned math. And finally, I love how they talked about compounding interest. Compounding interest is how the common millionaire is made when it's positive. When it's negative, compounding interest is how the broke man keeps being broke. As you can imagine, the compounding interest on credit card debt is negative, and it compounds daily. That's why I personally call it the killer of the American dream. And I do not think that that is an understatement. It is a type of financial quicksand that is very hard to get out of. And there's a reason for that. It's in part due to the interest rates. To give you an idea of what I'm talking about, the APR, annual percentage rate, on a mortgage is about 3%. And on student loans, you're looking at around 5%. But when it comes to credit cards, you are typically looking at over 20%. That is a lot of money. Pay your credit card bill in full because the interest on credit cards is nothing to play with. I'm actually someone who loves credit cards, but even I can admit that credit card companies prey on people who don't pay their bill in full. And that those people, in fact, are more likely to be from a lower income household, which means credit card companies prey on the poor. Which is very ugly to think about, but true. I have to say, I appreciate the fact that this episode didn't blatantly ignore or shy away from that fact. And I also appreciate how they talked about the different tricks credit card companies use against you. For example, retroactive interest. It's exactly what it sounds like. Retroactive interest is when the amount you owe is backdated at a higher interest rate so that you have to pay more interest. The further you look into your credit card agreement, it is clearer and clearer to see that credit card companies want you to trip up and fall into debt. Spreading this type of information is a form of financial education, and that is why I was so thrilled to see this documentary series on a widely accessible platform like Netflix. Most people just don't have the rules to the financial systems that we've built in America. And people who know the rules can be like Brian Jung. And people who don't know the rules, well, it's kind of game over. 30% of Americans can't cover a $400 emergency expense. Considering that fact, it is hardly surprising that we have this phenomenon of credit card debt. As said on the show, credit cards are treated by many as a savings account, in lieu of actually having a savings account. And, as also stated by the show, it's a very expensive way to pay for your problems. I don't want to go into a rant, however, I really appreciate what this episode is doing. I mean, it is crazy to think that a 25-minute episode could completely change the course of someone's life. Like, a child could watch this video, realize that credit cards are dangerous, and like it could cause a chain reaction in which they learn the rules of credit cards and not only avoid falling into debt, but actually end up making money. Insane, right? There is a difference between good debt and bad debt, and the world is designed for you to fall into bad debt, and just knowing that fact can help you make sure that you don't. As a society, we must increase the financial literacy of not only ourselves, but our neighbors so that people aren't unnecessarily suffering. But enough about my agenda. Overall, this episode was very excellent, well done, and a comprehensive overview about credit cards. 10 out of 10, recommend, everyone should watch it. If you're liking this little Money Explained series, don't worry because we still have 3 episodes left. So tune in next week. And as always, if you like the content, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And hopefully, I'll see you next week. Bye!